Congrats to Florida State. They were terrific this afternoon. I thought coming in they had been playing so much better than their record. They had some injuries and some things to get adjusted to earlier that really set them back, and they started to get a little bit healthier. Guys understand their roles. They still have a lot of talent on that basketball team, and they showed it tonight. So congrats to them. I thought we got off to a really good start. I thought we had really good energy to start the game. The first 5.5 minutes, and then we were not able to sustain it. From the 14.5-minute mark of the first half, for the rest of that half, we didn't play well. I thought we allowed our inability during that stretch to our inability to make shots. I thought it affected our defense. I thought we got off to a really good start in the second half. We were able to close the gap on a 10-point lead and take a 3-point lead. But again, we weren't able to sustain that. We did not defend up to our standards and like we needed to, and we need to win basketball games in this league. For a team, they shot 51 from the floor, 50 from three. That's not going to win you a lot of games. And we have to do a better job there as we go forward. We've been pretty good on that side of the ball all season, but we were not good there today, and they took advantage of it. So, again, congrats to them.
JB, just as you look over those numbers, I'm curious to see, what stat jumps off that page to you and why?
I would just say just a plus minus. We had a lot of guys in minus, so just knowing that we could have made a few more plays that would have helped us, whether that's a few more 50-50 balls, a few charges that we could have, tried to take. And that's pretty much it that stands out to me the most.
Jamars, what did you see that they did that kind of slowed you guys up from your hot offensive start? Because it seemed like you guys had things figured out in the rhythm you like, and then that kind of got disrupted for a while.
Yeah, I would just say at times we had some pretty costly turnovers. I think they might have scored 6 points off of, us either trying to throw the ball in bounds and losing it, or getting a rebound about to fall out of bounds and then trying to save it, and then they get their hands on the basketball. But you got to tip your hat off to them. They played, with tremendous energy in here, and they made us pay for our mistakes.
Question for Blake and JB. How frustrating is it in the first half when they're making all those shots? There were a lot of times you guys were contesting, you had a hand in their face, and the ball just kept finding the bottom of the net. How frustrating is that?
I would say it's frustrating, but the reality is, it's good players in this league, and for us, we can't, give them dare shots. We have to stick to the scouting report and understand that, there's some good players in this league, and they made us pay.
What he said, for sure.
Blake, over the last couple of games, you struggled to shoot the basketball a little bit. There was some foul trouble, of course, against Duke, but it feels like you were able to get your rhythm going at least there early in the second half. What do you think, kind of worked for you there and, was able to kind of get you back on track this night?
Nothing. I don't really remember struggling. I play the same way every game, so nothing really changes.
Just looking at what Green Jr. did against you guys, he led the charge for them. What were some of the things he was doing right that made him so hard to defend today?
He's just a lethal player. He has the ability to knock it down from deep and also put it on the floor. And, we just didn't do a good enough job making him uncomfortable. Understand the scouting report at times. I remember him hitting a deep three in transition against me. I got to do better in that instance, getting up quicker, understand the scouting report. But like I said, he just got to a hot start, and he's a very versatile player, and he made us pay today.
It seemed like you guys were forcing, in the first half, most of them, this is to both of you guys, it seemed like you guys were doing a good job forcing more of their shots to the outside in the first half, but in the second half, they did seem to get inside on you guys more often. What did you guys see leading to those problems?
I don't know. We just didn't do our thing defensively. We did a lot of things wrong, and that's why we lost.
All right, thanks, guys.
Jeff, what stood out to you about Darren Green's performance? Like we said earlier, he had some hands in his face on some of those shots.
Well, he's a really good player. And when guys get going and get into a rhythm, it can be very difficult to defend him. He shoots it with range. He knows how to move without the basketball. And he as a really good shooter, he understands how to get open. Like, there's an art to that. And whether it's reading screens, getting lost in transition, offensive rebounds getting lost, off turnovers getting lost, he does a really good job of that. And he hit some tough ones too.
Jeff, you have a really challenging next 3-game stretch. Do you expect maybe this loss to give you guys an extra little bit of a jolt heading into that?
I don't expect it to give us anything. We'll move on from it. Once we get back together on Monday, we'll learn from it, and we'll move on, and we'll start getting prepared for the next one.
Is Florida State like a classic team that's probably just better than their record indicates? It seems like they have a couple guys that could maybe even play in the pros.
They're a lot better than their record. Like I mentioned earlier in my opening statement, they had a lot of injuries to start the season, and they had a kid that's very talented that was suspended. And when you get prepared for a season, and as you get close to playing and you start having injuries to key guys, that can really mess you up, because now it puts guys that, and the guys that got hurt for them probably would have been starters or guys that played a lot of minutes. And so there's an adjustment. Guys' roles are different. Maybe they were working up to that point to be in a secondary role. Now all of a sudden you're in a primary role. And that can take some time to get adjusted. I think they played very well in this league. Obviously, they came in 4-4. They just won on the road at Notre Dame. They've been competitive in just about every game, even the ones that they've lost. And so I do think they're a very, very talented team. They have, top 100 guys over there. They got a top 25 guy over there out of high school. They got the 6th man of the year from last season. They have talent, even though they have some injuries. So they're a talented team, and they played very well this afternoon.
Jeff, was your shortcomings on defense just a product of maybe a long season, or there's something else going on out there you didn't like?
I didn't like the energy that we played with for the last 14 minutes of the first half. I thought we allowed our inability to make shots affect our defense. That hasn't happened to us in a little bit. And they made some tough shots. JB mentioned, the couple of plays. One where we're taking the ball out, out of bounds, going full court. We turn it over, they get a 3. Another one, we get a defensive rebound and we just throw it away. They get a 3. Those are big plays, especially when, those are momentum changing plays. We have to do a better job of that, of valuing the basketball. And, those are the plays right there where a guy can get lost in transition because you're not ready to defend them. 2 of Green's threes came on those plays.
Greg fouled Green with 4 minutes to play. You guys were down 3 at the time, and he comes out of that break and hits those 3 free throws. What did you and Greg talk about that play, and what did you see from your vantage point on that play?
I didn't see anything. I didn't talk to Greg about the play. We just immediately talked about what we wanted to do offensively.
You guys shoot a lot of threes generally, and and you say you're always fine with them as long as they're good shots. Were they good shots today, or did you settle?
Some were not.
Do you feel like you guys weren't aggressive enough on offense in the first half? Like you said, with the lack of energy because of those misses, do you feel like you guys were kind of settling a little bit in the first half?
I thought we didn't move the ball as well as we needed to in the first half. We were, trying to take advantage of their 5 switching, but we weren't moving it after we had that. We were, just trying to play one-on-one. I thought when we went on that run in the second half, to start the second half, we did a much better job of moving the basketball, getting off of it, and finding guys.
What did you feel about, how have you felt about Nelly's performance the last couple of games? He's been off shooting, he's been able to create opportunities at times, but obviously these haven't been his best last couple of games.
I think he's played well. He just hasn't made shots. That happens. But I think he's, distributed the basketball well. He's gotten us into our stuff. I think he's played well. He just hadn't made shots, and that happens sometimes.
You said a couple games ago that you guys need to find a way to get Fetty the ball more on the offensive end. Do you think you guys did that enough tonight?
I think I do. I think we did it enough. Yep.